when we celebrated the winter solstice, when that shift took place, I call that the new light or the new year. And it's a time of celebration as to how you're going to prepare yourself for the next whole year. But everything is based on quarters. And that's a time of celebration and how you prepare yourself, but at the same time you reflect on what you experienced the year before, what you had seen, what you heard. And that's really important because this is how you prepare yourself on what you're going to be doing, on things that you're going to do differently. And even some of the occurrences, we had the experience of a meteorite that happened a couple of days ago, and then all of a sudden it hailed, it rained, and we heard thunder. And this is where it's almost like being informed as to the things that you need to do now based on the weather, the season, what you hear, and what you see in the sky. And so that meteorite, that was a very strong statement in how it changed the weather, in my opinion, for a few days. And especially when you hear thunder, it's a very special time of the year for some of our people that celebrate that because of the gifts that they have. So the weather is very important to our people, and even being out in the snow, experiencing the cold, it's also very healthy for you to be out on the land. And even to see the trees, to see snow on the trees. But that's what they need as well to survive. They need that moisture and the gift that we get from the snow, from the rain, from the sun. And that's their survival. That's what they need. And that's really important. Because everything on the land has a spirit. And this is how we honor Na'a, Mother Earth, and all of the wonderful gifts that she shares with mankind. And also the beauty of the land. Right now we're experiencing winter, the winter season. And I always refer to Na'a, Mother Earth, as an artist. Where now Na'a paints a beautiful season for us. And by using all the colors of winter, it's another reminder for us that these are the things that we need to do to prepare ourselves and to accept where we are today. When my grandmother used to prepare for the winter many years ago, and the times that I used to go with her just to go berry picking. And that's how she would prepare herself and to ensure that there was food for the family. And it's not just berry picking, it's a way of life, and also to honor Na'a, Mother Earth, and the spirits of the land for the wonderful gifts that would be shared. And what was really amazing is how she acknowledged Mother Earth, first of all, thanking Mother Earth, and then asking for permission. And then making a promise that whatever we harvest from the land, we would leave enough behind for the next person, and also for the animals and the birds, because they need that as well. And those are very important lessons about how to coexist on Na'a, and how everything is shared. And that was the life that they had. This is a classroom here, sitting out here to learn about why it's important to respect everything around us. I used to hear my uncle, who's still with me, Uncle Charlie, and other elders, they always say, "Okakyusit." Always be aware of your surroundings. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on some, maybe important gifts that were there for you to see or to take. And that's why it's important going out on the land. You always observe what's around you. And this is where you really enjoy the energy that comes from Na'a and all of the beings of the land. We have the animals. And their part, their way of life is also very important because we learn from them too. And the land is their territory. You talked about seeing coyotes. This is where they live. We heard some crows going over just a little while ago, and this is where they survive too. So everything around us, what we see on the land and what we see in the air, sky, and universe, it's a constant reminder and how we're guided through our day and even through the seasons. And those were all of the lessons and the stories that were left behind by our ancestors for us to learn from that. So that way we can continue practicing a way of life that was so important that you have that kinship with the land. I always feel it's, as we journey today, is to always remember the ancestors. And their way of life was based on how they understood the culture of the land and the people and the beings of the land, the water, and the sky. That was part of a way of life. So this is a beautiful place to be, being out on Na'a, and to experience the beauty of Kunsku, the snow. So being on the land is where you feel that energy and the spirit, and that's when we have that connection. So kinship is very important in our way of life. Kinship is a way of how we humble ourselves to the land and also to the sky, but never leaving out the Creator, the source of life. In our way of life, that is part of the practice where every day you acknowledge that. And that's what makes you stronger as a person, is to always ask for help if you need it. But that ask comes in many different ways. When you ask the Creator, the source of life, we ask Na'a, Mother Earth, we ask the beings of the land to guide us, to show us a way of life that was meant to be lived. So all of the messages that we need is around us. So we just have to ask someone. Sometimes, what do we need to do, or what are some of the things that can be shared? And to begin to understand why it's so important just to be here.